Hi, this is KC with Traditions Leathercraft, and today we're going to build a simple business card case. This business card case will hold about 30 business cards. I've been using one for years and love it. It's put together with 2 rivets and a snap, and we'll be using our TLC exclusive acrylic template to do it. So let's get started. Today we're going to be using our live oak, which is our premium grade veg-tan tooling leather. It comes in 4 different weights, 3 to 4 ounce, 4 to 5, 6 to 7, and 8 to 9 ounce. I've chosen 4 to 5 ounce because it makes a really nice, sturdy business card case. If you were not going to be tooling the leather, you could choose from a wide variety of chrome tan leathers that we have available at traditionsleathercraft.com. These are just a few of the ones that we have in our shop. The first tool we're going to be using is a knife. I prefer a head knife. If you prefer to use a box knife, that's fine. You may want a straight edge. We're also going to be using an edge beveler. I've chosen a size 0 edge beveler, an 1.5-inch slot punch. We're going to be using various mini and maxi punches, a rivet setter, a line 24 snap setter and anvil, and then of course line 24 snaps and double cap rivets. Okay, for this step, you're going to need our acrylic template, a piece of leather, and a pencil. And the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around the template while holding it in place so it doesn't move on me. And the next step is we'll cut it out. I should mention that these 2 pieces right here come separate in the package, but you will want to put those together, side A and B, with the logo facing up, and then lay it on your leather to trace it. As with any cutting tool, the first thing you want to do is strop your blade. I'm choosing to use a head knife made by JC here locally. And I've got jeweler's rouge put on this leather strop, and I'm simply going to strop my blade and pull it towards me a couple of different times, and then it's ready to cut. If I'm using a razor blade like this, I'm still stropping the blade before I cut each time. So then I'm going to follow my line that I've drawn, cut out my pattern. This live oak cuts great. Just follow your pencil line there. Okay, now that I've got that cut free, one of the things I like about a head knife is I can set it on here and rotate my leather to get these curves in here. Whoop. Just like that right there. Now I'll go ahead and cut out the rest of the body of the card case. Just like that. Now we have our pieces cut out. Okay, now that we have our pieces cut out, I'm going to lay our template back on here, lining up all the edges, and I'm going to have you mark these slot punches right here. I'm going to show you how to cut them with an 1.5-inch slot punch, but if you don't have it, I'm going to give you a tip on doing it with just a maxi punch set. All right, now I'm going to take my 1.5" slot punch, and you'll notice if you have one of these that this line we drew is 1/4 of an inch longer than the slot punch. So I will show you what to do here. Punch your slot. You see the extra 1/4 inch? Line your slot up here and bring it down to the bottom of your trace line and simply punch it in to make it 1.75" long. Now, if you don't have a slot punch, you can do this with a round punch. Let me go ahead and punch this one in here real quick and I'll show you. Again, just punch the 1.5" slot, line up your slot punch, line up the bottom of it with the line you drew, and now you've got 1.75" slot here. So if you didn't have the punch, it's not a problem. You can do it with a maxi punch. Simply punch it at the top, the bottom, and then take your knife and cut it. And I prefer to get about half of the cut done from one side and come over here and cut the other half out from this side. And then you'll have your 1.75" slot. Okay. Now we're going to mark where the rivet and the snap goes. We're going to slide this piece through this piece. I'm going to pull these up where they're even, where these two edges meet the edge of the business card case. We're going to fold that over where the flap comes down. Bring this piece over. This piece over. We're going to come in here about 1/4 of an inch and make a mark. And a mark. This will be our rivet holes. Okay, you can see I've marked these holes about 1/4 of an inch in from the edge. And now with the card case closed, I'm going to come up about 1/2 inch from the middle of this half moon and mark where my snap hole is going to be. Now I'm going to move my granite slab and my professional poundo board over. I'm going to take my mini punch set. I'm going to punch rivet hole here, right here, and then my snap hole. And then I'm once again going to fold this up, bring the pieces back together. And I'm going to mark them in the side of the business card case where these holes are going to go. Here, here, and here. So now I have holes here, here, and here that we're going to punch with the same mini punch. And then the next step, I'm going to wet this down and edge bevel it. Okay, now that I have all the holes marked for the rivets and snap, I'm going to take the leather apart and I'm going to lightly moisten down the leather. I like to edge bevel the veg-tan leather when it's a little bit damp. If you're using chrome tan leather, obviously you would not need to wet the leather to edge bevel it. But now we're ready to use our edge beveler. This is a size 0 edge beveler that we sell at traditionsleathercraft.com. We're just going to go around, and if a little bit of your ink or pencil line shows up there, this is where you're going to get rid of a lot of that as you edge bevel this. Once I edge bevel the grain side, now I'm going to turn it over and edge bevel the flesh side. By edge beveling it, you can slick these edges and get a nice rounded, smooth edge on them. Okay, one piece down. Whoop. Okay, now for the sake of time, I'm going to step away for 1 second. I'm going to dye and finish these pieces, and then we'll come back and put it together. Okay, as you can see, I've finished these pieces. I chose to use Spanish Brown, Phoebing's Pro Dye, and Tan Coat Finish. And I've also slicked the edges down with some Toco Pro and a canvas cloth. We're going to go ahead and line these pieces back up together. Get our snap hole there in the center lined up. We can go ahead and start with that piece. I'm going to use a line 24 snap. Put the eyelet through there. Take my setter. And one little trick that I like to do is I like to spin this in my fingers while I'm tapping it. It seems to make it roll down much better. I've heard some people say to kind of walk it around the world. I've had better luck spinning it in my fingers like this. And one way you can test this to make sure it's set good is this should not spin on top of the leather. It's in there very, very secure. So then the other side of the snap will be the cap and the socket. Put the cap inside the anvil here. There's lots of videos on setting snaps and rivets, so I'm not going into a lot of detail with you on it. Again, just spinning this sucker with my hand while I'm hitting it, and then I test it to make sure it's not spinning any longer. And then I always like to just test them to make sure they're going to snap and unsnap. So we're good there. Now I'll simply put this piece on the back. I'll take a double cap rivet. Stick it from the inside to the outside. Stick it on here. Get over the corner of my granite slab here. Put a cap on. Take my rivet setter. Set the rivet. And then we're going to repeat that. Second rivet goes from the inside here. You can hold on to it better than I can. And this one folds over to this side. Position our rivet over the corner of our granite slab. This is the tricky part, doing the very last rivet. Trust me, it can be done. It's just going to fight me every step of the way. Okay, here's what I should be doing. You grab the cap and go ahead and put your other piece on here, because that would have been embarrassing to set it without it. I'm going to take the cap, I'm going to snap it on here. Now I can move this hand out and get my granite slab underneath here to set that last rivet. Rivet setter. Make sure that's up underneath there really good. There we go. And now we have simple business card case with one snap and two rivets. All right, thank you for joining me. So we finished up our simple business card case. So the last step would be to replace this old card case and stick my new cards in here and show it off to my family and friends and start taking orders. We used our simple card case. It retails for $24.99 at traditionsleathercraft.com. We have other templates that we'll be doing videos on, so be sure to like and subscribe to this page and hit the bell so you'll be notified when we get those posted. Thank you for watching.